All right, question number 14. Which equation is represented by the accompanying graph? So if we look at our graph, the first thing you should notice is that you have an open circle and a closed circle. So whenever we have a closed circle on our graph, what that means is you're going to be dealing with a greater than or equal to or a less than or equal to. And if I have an open circle, I'm going to be dealing with a greater than sign or a less than sign. You can't mix and match them. Like I can't put this less than or greater than with my closed circle, and I can't put this less than or equal to or greater than or equal to with my open circle. So I have to use one for the closed and one for the open. So if I look at this part right here, I'm just going to focus on this region right here. So we're basically saying that the numbers to the left of -2, including -2, are included. So I'm including -2. So I'm going to write -2, and if you notice, I'm shading in this direction or going in this direction. So if you remember way back when from the beginning of the year, that means my arrowhead is going to point in that direction. So I'm going to point in that direction and then put an X. Here's the issue. If we look, that's a closed circle. So we know we have to put an underline underneath that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the answer choices that don't say X less than or equal to -2. So choice 1 doesn't, because I don't have that. Choice 2 does. Choice 3 doesn't. So now it has to be choice 2 or choice 4. So now, to make it easier for myself, if I look, when I plug in these numbers, the only possible Y value I'll hit is -1. So if I were to rewrite this myself, I could say that basically when X is less than or equal to -2, I'm going to get -1. And I'm not going to get any other possible answers. Now, if I look at the top part of my graph, if I start here and go to the right, I'm only going to have a +2. So basically, if I plug in, I'm only going to get 2. Now, what we have to figure out is, okay, what's the X value I'm going to start at? Well, if we look, we're still going to start at -2, but this time, I'm shading in this direction. So that means my arrowhead's going to have to point in that direction. But remember, we're going to have to make sure that variable goes first. So now I'm going to open it like this, where it's going to say X greater than -2. So basically I'm including like -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Hence why it's pointing in that direction. Now, we have to figure out if it's an open circle or a closed circle. Well, if we look, there's an open circle at that -2. So it has to be my greater than sign. It can't be my greater than or equal to sign. So that is why it's going to be choice number 2 for this question. And then I put in my negative. Okay? So pay very close attention to your open circles and closed circles.